Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to today's first of two live streams. We're going to start off on the Train Sim World 2, since the corridor in the MP36PH-3C CT. We're going to do a local all-stop service from San Francisco to San Jose. It's going to be an evening service. Good morning, Feathers. So let's get in here. I want to have a bit of maybe just a bit of light rain, just to add a bit of something. So we only have two I haven't done. Well, I haven't done three, but the last one's an empty from the depot. So we'll do this one here. So let's see if I can remember how to set this thing up as well. And there we go. Let's get some lights on. That's the rear, we want the front. We want the reading light on. There we go. And let's see. We can change that. And let's see here. We don't want the markers. Let's see. There's that. There's our wipers. Make sure all of our switches are on here. Ooh, we are departing a little bit late. I'm good, thank you. Shouldn't need a lot getting going here. Yep, all the lights are on. You just can't see it because these windows are tinted. There we go. Away we go. Yeah, I was looking at some flight stuff for later on in the month and looked at the time and was like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta get on the... I gotta log in and get going. So I gotta make some notes for later on. All right. Wipers going. Alright, here we are. Not too shabby for not having been on the in the MP36 here. Now, of course, a lot of this is going to change because they are electrifying the line. Although I think the work on that has been kind of suspended. There's a lot of problems that they found with the underneath the tracks that have been there for quite some time. So they will have to deal with all that at some point, or I guess that's what's kind of holding them up now. So, you know. I'm going to be a little bit late getting into 22nd Street there. The creepiest stop on the route, I say. That's not the best area still. Oh, they fixed it. Used to be you couldn't be out here, that they considered this like a tunnel. Let's see if we can ride in the tunnel. Oh, now we can. Yay, they fixed it. There we go. I thought there was another light switch here somewhere, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. Sunrise. Oh, there it is. There we go. Now we got some light. Do come in, say hello, do leave a thumbs up, greatly appreciate it. Let's slow down. We got a switch coming up to stop there at Bayshore. So we're going to come off the line here, pull up to the station. There's the switch. Bayshore, of course, used to be a station you could get off to go to the Candlestick Park for the Giants and San Francisco 49er games. Candlestick no longer exists. It has been demolished. Although we can still fly over it. Microsoft Flight Simulator. It still exists there. Hopefully it will stay that way for a long time. It's over somewhere over there. Good morning, Mick. How are you, sir? Nice to see you. Yeah, I put on a little weather here for the trip down to San Jose. Can't always be clear and sunny. It's never that clear and sunny in the Bay Area anyways, so it's generally very foggy, especially in San Francisco area. But yeah, I just figured I'd add a little something to the trip today. For our kind of thinking about flight sim while we're driving a train. I think what we're going to do, the last Friday of the month will be like a long flight, because Bex said, well, you didn't fly very long yesterday. And I'm like, well, I can't do 8-hour flights all the time. That's, some people do. I can't. That's just too much to sit down, because, I mean, I was sore, sitting that long. And so what I've decided to do is the last Friday of the month will be a long flight. So at least that gives us 3 Fridays for viewer requested flights. But then and it's typical California weather too, quite honestly. I mean, usually it's just foggy, but I figured I'd put the rain on too, just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. So yeah, Fridays will be, all the Fridays up to the last Friday of the month will be viewer requested flights. And then that last Friday will be like a long flight. Now, the problem again will be that I have to do it in such a, I don't want to do a 15-hour flight. That's way too much to do. So I think about 8, maybe 9 tops is reasonable, but yeah, it's just a lot to do in one sitting. And then I have to worry about, hopefully things don't shut down rather unexpectedly. There's a lot of stuff that I gotta, kind of think about as well. Plus I gotta be able to eat, go to the restroom, there's a lot of, so with the autopilot, yes, I can kind of let the plane fly itself and I can go take care of all those things, but it could be a lot to deal with in one sitting by myself. So yeah, I don't know, but I think I've got a good flight for the 28th of January. We're going to fly from Japan down to Malaysia. We're going to fly right in near the Sepang circuit there in Malaysia. Matter of fact, the airport is right next to the circuit, so hopefully, if we do it right, we'll see the we'll be able to see the, we'll try to keep an eye out for the F1 track there in Malaysia, which from the air is just, it's the weirdest shape ever. Oh, not a super solid stop, but not too shabby. Well, yeah, we are running a little bit behind. Let's make sure. I know the... Yeah, the lights are on. Okay, perfect. San Bruno is next. Get a little bit of wheel slip. Can't go full. That's what I thought. I think as long as we nail our stops, we should be good for a gold. Stop a little short. Talk about nailing the stops. I thought I turned the lights on. There we go. Now it's lit. There it is. There we go. I forgot one of the switches. Now we have a well-lit passenger area. Our driver is not dressed so spiffy. 3C. Yeah. Now the passengers, it's a well-lit area for them. Care about passenger safety. We're going in Millbrae, so we're almost, not quite halfway there yet, but getting there. There's the BART tracks that go out to the San Francisco International Airport. You can take the BART to Millbrae. That'll take you right down there to the station if you need to catch the train from Millbrae. Jet flying over. Oh, that's what I'm waiting on. Oh, wow. Are they like injecting like a steroid of some kind, or that's what it's. Yeah, we're not doing no Japan to Malaysia. That'll be a Friday in February. But the flight we're gonna do. Well, I should have written it down because I'm kind of like forgetting already what I promised myself I was gonna do. So the 28th of January it'll be JFK to Frankfurt in the 747. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Burlingame is next. Yes, we'll take off. We'll do a early morning takeoff from, well, not early morning, but it'll be local time, my time. We'll take off from JFK and head over to Frankfurt for our long haul flight. That's going to be about, I think that one's going to be about 9 hours. So, yeah, that's, whew. That is a lot. Well, that's all subject to change. You know, I like to do those kinds of things, but it's also, I have to make sure that I don't have any appointments on those days so that I can get stuff like that done. But if my appointments take priority, so. Yeah, I used to get, they would put, yeah, they would inject like an anti-inflammatory into my knees sometimes. And yeah, that could be kind of painful as well until the medicine kind of kicks in. But that's why I use that BioFreeze on my knees. Matter of fact, I put some on this morning when I got up. So yeah, it's, oops. There we go. I remember that one person got, yeah. I know what, I kind of think I know what it is that they're going to inject in you, but I can't remember the, like, the name of it. Oh, thank you, Mick. I appreciate that. It's nice to be back. Mateo is next. As we get to San Mateo, we'll have a look at the what we've got coming up. We're going to stop at my favorite station, Palo Alto. My other favorite station, Mountain View, possibly. At least one of the two I think we will stop at, if not both. Be surprised if we don't. Alright, let's just have a look here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 stops till we get to San Jose Dearden. We are stopping at Mountain View, and we are stopping at Palo Alto. There we go. And then away we go. Hayward Park is next. Oh no, she's asleep. It's too early. I can assure you, Mick, Doris is asleep. No. We did talk yesterday, though, for quite some time, so... You know, Doris is sound asleep right now. I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised if she came in, but no, Doris is asleep. I'm very positive of that. But I told her the schedule for today, so if she did have time, she would pop in. But no, she is sound asleep. Might get back on track here with our time. We did. We made it before half past 30. Not half past, but 20:08. As long as we're within there, we'll get our full 500 for our passengers. There we go. Hillsdale's next. Yeah, she went to go visit family for New Year's. So yeah, I'm sure she's asleep now. She's an hour behind me, so it's only 6:15. where she lives. So, yeah, very... Now, Hillsdale was the one, if I remember correctly, that the station is up higher now. They had to, like, put in a lot of gravel and change the station significantly. I think it was Hillsdale. I'm almost certain it was Hillsdale. Yeah, it's the passenger part is in the middle now. Stopping a little short. Well, you know, we haven't had any, knock on wood, Pulse jinxed himself last night. We hadn't had any of the bots in, and then lo and behold, just when I think it was just before he went on break, one popped in. Belmont is next. So, Mick, when are we seeing you and Pulse and Predator back on the pitch ranting about FIFA? Is there a possibility? Or is it still to be determined? Inquiring minds want to know. If you have any idea at all. Or even some battlefield action. best stop there either. Oh, nice. All right, good to hear. Yeah, I was asking Pulse, and Pulse was like, I haven't heard anything, so I don't know unless you know something. I'm like, I don't know. You're. Oops. San Carlos is next. Yeah, it'd be nice to see you back in action again. We'll definitely be there for that. Well, I'm still amazed that I had that many, and I gotta look at it again. In fact, I'll look at it here as soon as we pull in here to, excuse me, San Carlos. But you know, like when I wrapped up that long flight, I had 111 views, and then it was when I checked the next morning on Saturday before I started the Spitfire flight, it was up to 162. So, yeah, it was just nuts. I did not expect that. So it may have gone up even more. And I didn't know that Shayna had been in the stream and then went and said something in Joe's stream, which, you know, that's like one of those unwritten rules. You don't talk about somebody else's, you know, you don't pop in and say, oh, so-and-so's doing this, because, you know, that's taken away from what Joe was doing or whatever. Let's see here. So I'm up to 94 subs. That long flight is at 159. I thought it was at 162, but now it's at 159 views. Spitfire is still sitting at 220. The one we did under the bridge. Redwood City is next. So yeah, it went up like, I thought it said 162, but maybe I was wrong. It said 159. But yeah, I didn't know. Mela was the one that told me that Shayna had said something in Joe's stream, and then I popped in to Joe's the other, later that day, I think, or something, just to say hi, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I heard." And he's like, "Man, if I'd known." Well, I mean, I don't really tell people, about, it's just, I don't go into his Discord and advertise. I hardly say anything at all in this Discord nowadays. And it's nothing against him, it's just all the other, numpties that go on and on and on in there. And just, yeah, Oh, oh. I kind of, oh, okay. So it might have been 162. Interesting. I wonder why it goes up and down. Yeah, a certain someone popped into Pulse's stream last night, and so I had to give a little wind up with that person, although they didn't really bite. Yeah, now that some things about that person have been exposed, you know, they're true. The other scary people, yeah. Oh, I tell you, it's just. And I was watching. He was on East Coast Way yesterday, and a certain someone, you know. Oh, it's just. I came in like right towards the end. I just said hi to him, and you know, for New Year's Day, but you know, I listened to the remaining part of the stream, and it was just like one person in particular was doing their usual demanding, you know, not so, I don't know about demanding, but I don't know, it's just a very. There's our beautiful Redwood City sign. Yeah, it's just, wow. Things haven't changed with some people. You know, you'd think maybe in the new year they would have maybe said, you know, I think I just want to try to be a better person and all that. And it's just, yeah, really just, oh, we're missing our, not doing our stops very well now all of a sudden. So yeah, it's but yeah, he's like, oh, you know, that's pretty awesome, you did a long flight, and you know, which was cool of him to say. But you know, I've been steering clear of his channel, not because of him, like I said, it's because of the other people that just they don't, their social skills are so lacking, it's not even funny. You know. So and away we go. So yeah, I mean, it was scary in his stream yesterday. I was just like, wow. One person in particular just could not. Just they don't get their head around that how they act is just it's unacceptable in so many ways. But if Pithers is still watching, I'm sure he knows who I'm talking about. Although Pithers was having a go at somebody else. Oh, Pithers. And you know, it's funny because when that person kept going, yes, well, that's part of it, but it's also somebody donated, this particular person, I don't even want to say their names because I don't like giving them that free advertisement. They donated some money to Joe yesterday, and then it became an issue of what Joe was going to do for that donation, like the what stream or what game and all that, and Joe was like, you know, we'll talk about it off stream. I'm trying to, you know, message you and all that, and that person didn't quite want to hear. They wanted to fuss about it while Joe was trying to drive the train. You know, so anyway, yeah, it's just like, yep, things haven't changed. Some people are still the same. They've got to. Well, yeah, one person was going on. They were talking about football chants or something or other while Joe was driving, and Pithers was like not having any of it. Kept trying to tell the person, you know, you need to. If you wanted to talk about football, go somewhere else. And that person kept going on. You know, it's kind of like when Joe would be on the bus and they want to talk about train stuff. You know, they don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's just. We're coming in way too fast here. Oh, we're going to screw this up. I was not paying attention. Well, it may not be too bad. Okay, that's not too bad. I can live with that. All the passenger stuff's on the... Man. That could have been a lot worse. Well, like, you know, some people just donate because A, it gets them the notoriety from Joe, and then it becomes a matter of, you know, then Joe will say, okay, well, you know, like, usually if it's over a certain amount, he says, then, you know, you could pick the next route or the next game kind of thing. And so then that person, you know, well, what if we do this? And Joe's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna, you know, that's not something I'm interested in doing. And, you know, then it becomes, you know, if it's too unreasonable for him, he's going to say, you know, yeah, I can't, yeah, we won't do that. It's more, I think, what I'm starting to notice is it's, well, I donate, and then it's like, I'm paying for you to do what I want, and you're going to, you know, I don't want to hear the word no. And it's like, well, you need to hear the word no, because you can't just have everything you want just because you give somebody. Yeah, I mean, you're not really paying for a service necessarily. You know, I can understand if you say, well, I paid for this meal, or I paid for this vehicle, and this is what my expectations are. You know, you're donating, you're willfully giving the money, and if the person who's receiving it says, I can do things within a certain, I can, you know, I can try to be reasonable with you, and we can try to find something that, but it's more, it seems like this person was paying for Joe to play with them on a stream. I think is what it felt like to me, was the their intentions, or what they were looking for with Joe. And I was like, wow, that person's still, you know, and I don't think that they're ever going to change. They're never going to learn that lesson of, you know, I can't act this way. This is, you know, they'll feel bad because if somebody says something, you know, they've got their issues, right? But they don't realize, or they feel like if somebody points out those things, then, you know, they suddenly get very defensive. They feel like they're being bullied or whatever, and then, you know, it gets ugly. So, yeah, it's... Yeah, a little bit of... Yes, that's what it seems like, Mick. Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't... It's very... It's borderline creepy. Well, it's not even borderline. It's creepy behavior. But they don't see that as, you know, they don't see their behavior as being creepy. You know, they just see it as, oh, well, I donated this money, and you said, you know, what can we do? And I give you what I want to do, and if you don't, you know. So yeah, it's just very, ugh. Yeah, I don't like that, and I don't ever want to get to. I mean, it would be nice if people could donate to my channel, and I could probably set that up for that, but, you know, set up a PayPal account for it. But I don't. I don't like that people start to feel like they can make these demands from you, and yeah, it's very... It's not good behavior. And again, it's been pointed out to that person numerous times, and then they start getting all, you know, like, oh, well, but, okay, I'm just not going to say, you know, it's like, no, dude, it's not that people are telling you can't say anything, it's that you got to dial it back. You really need to dial it back, and they don't quite know how to do that, you know. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. But it makes it harder because now, you know, here we are in the new year and it's already started up again with him, and you know. So, yeah, I But also, did you see that thing I posted in the Discord, Mick, about what that person said? And that was in the DC Designs part of the forum for the F-15. And I was talking about this yesterday, I think, when we were flying around, and I still want to go back and respond to that person and just say, you know, first off, you're missing out on a great aircraft. But also, I kind of feel like the person who made that post is also, despite what they've said, yeah, that, oh, as long as there's, you know, you guys keep improving the aircraft, then maybe finally I will spend my money. Well, you're never going to be happy. Go take a look at what this person said, Nick. I kind of did a snapshot of it. Yeah, it's very like, I felt like I want, you know, like the person, I don't want to say, well, they were borderline unreasonable in what they were saying, but also I kind of feel like they're the kind of person that no matter how much improvements are made for the plane in question, they'll find another excuse to not spend their money on the plane. You know. And that's what I kind of wanted to get across to them. If I respond like, let's be honest, you're never going to be satisfied with everything. You can't expect in a plane like an F-15, especially because it's a military, it's still a jet that is in service. Not every button is going to work. You know, you're going to have enough stuff that works. You can start the plane up. You can tinker around with maybe your display systems, but on average, what you get is what you get. But to expect that, it's got to be as real as, well, it is as real as possible, within reason, of course. But if you're going to nitpick that much, you're never going to spend your money because you're going to always find fault. But I also wanted to, I really wanted to go in there and be sarcastic too and say, would you like a latte machine with that plane as well? Would you like that installed behind the pilot? Maybe instead of the backseater, you have a latte machine. Would that help you out as well? You know, because it just seems that's, you know, the audacity to come in and say what that person said, and I'm just like, wow, you know. Yeah, it was like very demanding. You know, it's got to be, you know, real life pilots need to sign off on it. They need to say this is legit, and like that's not how it works. You know, and how are you going to know that you know, like, even if 10 former F-15 pilots look at it and say, yep, that is pretty much spot on, you're going to go like, well, I don't know if I can really trust them. You know? So yeah, the behavior or what that person said, I'm like, wow, you're one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like the forums, first off, but also that's why a lot of developers don't like going into forums, because of people like you. You know, and I've said before in the forums that when somebody was asking about the F-14, I said, get it. You'll love it. You'll have a great time flying it. It's not that difficult to get to grips with. But once you figure out what you can do and everything and how to do it, you'll have a blast. Plus, the designers of the game have been nothing but positive, whether you're playing on the Xbox or the PC, which is a huge bonus, I think. They don't have to communicate with the community like that. They can just go like, well, we're putting out a product, and you know, there you go. That's it. Exactly. And that's what I know that I'm not going to know what every button function does, because I've never flown in it in real life. So I just, you know, but I try to enjoy it for what it is. It gives me the feeling that, you know, as a kid who built model planes of these models of these planes, that I get a sense of you know, accomplishment or something that alright, Mountain View is next. You know, that I can, like the other day when I started up the F-14 and I taxied it out there at China Lake, I can assure you, that feeling that I had that I got the plane started up and we got on our way, I was like, I love that. To hear the engine starting up and everything, I love that feeling. You know, yeah, it was just, I can't believe this person is you know, acting like this, and why? You know, what's the, why would you do that other than you're just being a jerk, you know, to say what they said, you know. And I check back every so often to see if Dean or Jack has responded. It's the two brothers that run DC Designs. Because they're both in the forums generally to talk, you know, if people have questions or whatever. But no. Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Alright, coming into Mountain View, my other favorite station. Yeah, like I don't care about the textures, like, oh, the seats have to look a particular way and the color has to be exact. And I mean, if it's close enough, that's fine for me. I don't really care, you know, otherwise. It's just, but the way that person acted, I'm like, wow, dude, you know, you're being a bit of a dick, quite honestly. Now, I get it. They, you know, it's one thing to say, I see significant improvement, and that's really awesome. And, you know, you guys look like you're doing really good work, and that's fantastic. But to say, well, you know, if I get the sense that you guys really care and you're still doing the hard work, then I'll spend the money. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's something else. We're almost there. Got a few more stops to go. Sunnyvale is next. We're on our so we'll probably have we'll see how much time, what time we stop there in San Jose, and then we'll go, and then we'll do the turnaround, and nice to see everybody here. I'm surprised Amela hasn't popped in. Mel might still be asleep, although it's getting kind of late. Yeah, we'll reset, go flying over New Zealand, go check out the glaciers, call it a day. Monday we will be in the Brer regional jet, I believe, going from Bristol Kingsport to Atlanta. Gotta spend some time with that again today, getting I'm getting ready for that flight. Yep, exactly, Mick. They do. You're right. Well, and I think too, when you have, like, the forums are great, a great way for people to communicate about the game. But then you have people who feel that means that they can go in and just say some off-the-wall crap, and then when you know, like, if I go in there and I respond to that person and go like, your comment is pretty so far off the mark that it begs the question, what is it that you really want? Because the way you come across, you're telling Jack and Dean that this is your expectation. Now, in reality, they're never going to meet your expectation. No, I know what you mean, Mick. You don't have to explain it any further. I completely understand what you're talking about. So if you tell them that, you're making these demands, and you think that is going to get them to do what you want, they're probably good. Both of them probably looked at it and said, well, this guy's probably never going to buy our product no matter what we do. So they know it's a loss, that they're not going to have, that person is never going to spend their money, kind of thing, right? So so that's, they know they'll never see that money from that, or that person will never spend any money. So, but they're going to continue to work on the product to improve it, which is what they sometime here this month or maybe next month we will get an update to the F-15. So, which will be good, and it's fine. They're updating the look of the flight, the cockpit and everything. So, it's good, but I think they know that person is never, very likely will never spend any of their money on their product. Because no matter how many times people go in and say, oh, I flew this plane today, I flew the F-15 or the F-14, it was a lot of fun, and thank you so much for what you guys are doing, that you're working hard to continue to improve what you put out, that person is never going to be satisfied. So why why say anything at all other than you're looking for acknowledgement that you are just such a meticulous, petty person who is going to always come up with an excuse why you're not spending your money on their product. You know. Just like some people, well, if the horn on this particular train is not exact, I'm not... Ugh. The horn is your biggest concern, not that it just works, you know, like the train overall works well, but the horn sound is your biggest complaint. Like, wow, you really need some professional help. Quite honestly, you really, really do. If that's the only thing you could complain about, you really need to go see some professional help. Because there's just no help for you. Hey, there's Amela. How are you, Amela? Yeah, I just... Horns. Oh, if the horn doesn't sound exactly like I know it sounds... DuckTales never gonna get another dime out of me. Oh, there's bigger problems than the frickin' horns in the game. Okay? But you're willing to excuse the other problems because you're more concerned about the horns. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Alright, we're going to have to sit here and wait. Alright, there we go. Now we got the yellow. Yeah, I don't know. That's just... It's insane. Oh, Bella, I noticed when you came into Pulse's chat last night... Somebody decided to, that person suddenly got very quiet in the chat. They may have left completely, I don't know. But yeah, sorry but not sorry. I'm not, oh, I'm good, thank you, Mela. Hopefully you were well. Matter of fact, Doris and I were talking about you yesterday. Not in a bad way. She asked me about how things were in New York City, and I said, well, I know, you know, I said that Amella's working from home and, you know, had gone back to the office, but then, you know, now has since had to return to working at home and everything, which is what hurt the situation she's found herself in, for the time being. She was working at the office, and now they... she has to work from home until further notice. So, yeah. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes. So, I do not feel bad. I'm going to keep calling out that person for their what's a good word? For their lack of truth. There we go. I guess that's a good way to look at it. Their lack of truth about how, you know. And I don't even feel bad about it. I know Pulse was trying to be all reasonable, like, oh, well, you know, sometimes. And I'm like, nah. Nah. If anything, that was just a bad case of heartburn. That's all it was. But somebody that person's real age, if it was that serious, they would have been in the hospital. Their parents would have had to take them, you know, take them in to see somebody, because if they felt that it was that serious. So, yeah, no, not buying it. Sorry, but not sorry. You're going to come in and talk like that, I'm going to call you out on it every chance I get. You're not going to come in and say some off-the-wall crap about that you're having a heart attack or whatever, and then you're going to continue to talk in the chat while you're claiming you're having a heart attack. No. It's kind of like we had somebody come in who was claiming that they were having a migraine, but was not. Yes. Me too, Mick. I hope they show up tomorrow in FIFA. If you guys stream FIFA tomorrow, I do hope they come in. Yeah, they came in. They're like, oh, they were laughing. They were not I've seen people with migraines before. This person was not acting like they actually had a migraine. And when you tell people, I'm not buying it, but I've got a migraine. Well, you need to go to acting school then, because you're not acting like you've got a migraine. Just like, if you're going to tell somebody or tell people that you're having a heart attack, but then you're going on and on and on in the chat, no, you're not having a heart attack, dude. So you're just acting up just to act up. You're looking for some attention. And you were hoping to get it, and that nobody would call you on your BS. And you're a bit disappointed that somebody called you out on your BS. But that you have to expect that. You can't just, oh, I'm having a heart attack, I should go to the hospital, but I'm going to keep talking about it in the chat. No. Dude, if you were having a heart attack, you would not be typing and going on about a frickin' heart attack. I am 100% certain of that. Not to say that I'm a doctor or anything, but I learned enough stuff cardiology-wise to know when somebody is having that this is what would be happening, and they were not, yeah. And he's one of the worst offenders, along with another person that is usually in Joe's chat. All right, San Jose Dearden is next. But they don't think that somebody's going to say something, call them out on it. They just say, "Oh, watch, I'm going to say this," and don't. It's not a big deal. Well, you're going on about it in the chat, in the stream, that oh my God, it's really bad. Well, if it was really that bad, you would not be here talking. You would not be able to type. Your hands would be on your chest. So, nice try. You don't get an Academy Award. You're not even going to get nominated. So, no. Your acting is atrocious. So... yeah. I still can't. Oh boy. And that's the sort of stuff that would happen. Like, that's why medics have this crazy sense of humor, is when you see somebody talk like that and you're just like, nah, dude, no. You're not, no. Don't even try. We're all not a bunch of young kids sitting around that don't know anything about anything. We're all, vast majority of us are adults and know what we're talking about. You know. So, nah. Yeah. Well, because you at some point people are going to watch what you're saying and go like, I'm not convinced. And that's why I'm like looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, no, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. You may have some discomfort, which is basically you've got some heartburn, maybe some little indigestion, which for some people can feel like they're having a heart attack. You know, you may have shortness of breath because you're like, you know, your body kicks in and says, oh my God, I'm worried this doesn't feel very good. Take a few deep breaths, you'll be fine. Drink some milk, drink some water, you know. Just like we've had people come in like, oh, I had a certain case of something that I don't really want to talk about in the chat because it's disgusting. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. I got it. So you had like a simple case of this, and now you think that warrants like a day off for you? Yeah, I just no, dude. Here's some. You go get these pills. Take these pills. You'll be fine. Drink plenty of water. Eat some food. Don't eat anything spicy, anything greasy. You'll be fine. But I need a day off. No, you don't. You're not gonna die. You're fine. You're being ridiculous. So go get these pills. Take the pills. You're fine. You can return to duty. They just wanted a free day off because they figured, well, if I go and tell them I have this, it'll be fine. It's okay. But you know, it's just that they think that, oh, if I go and I say this, they'll take pity on me. When he said that in the chat, I don't have any pity on him. It's just, I'm like, no, dude. And I'm gonna keep every time he comes in. I hope we're not gonna have any cardiac issues today, are we? No. Okay. I just want to make sure, because you know, if you think that you're gonna have one, maybe you need to call the ambulance now instead of later. We wouldn't want you to feel like you're having a heart attack and then, you know, so maybe you need to go now. Don't even wait. And I know I should feel bad for doing that, but I don't. Well, there we are. We got out here on time. So let's see. It's 8:10. Let's shoot for 8:30 for our flight there in New Zealand. There it is. How do we do? Do we get a gold? We got a gold. Dun, dun, dun. I love it. That's 2 golds in a row that we've gotten since our return to Microsoft or Train Sim World 2. I don't know why I said Microsoft Flight Simulator. I've got the flight on my mind already. Anyway, that's going to be it for right now, folks. I will see you in about 20 minutes. We'll have a nice flight in Microsoft Flight Sim for the in New Zealand. So do join us for that. I will see you all shortly. Bye.